Everybody, it is June the 12th, and I have to say I was struggling a little bit today with what to say. Um, Great day. I worked really hard. I sweat a lot, got a lot accomplished, and I see God and all that, no doubt, but there wasn't really anything that He was saying to me. Oh, watching the news again, looking through Facebook, seeing all kinds of stuff associated with the riots and the protests and all those things. Um, and after George Floyd's murder. And as I was reading through Psalms, and I read a lot tonight, uh, and nothing was really, kind of coming to me until I was at Psalm 22:28. And it says, "Do not move the ancient landmark that your fathers have set." And of course, it really made me start thinking about all these landmarks. I can remember years ago when in the South they wanted to get rid of the Confederate flag because it had negative connotations as to why the Confederates were trying to secede from our country with slavery. And, I'll admit it, northern white, uneducated, no, not maybe too educated. The historian in me is like, that's part of the history, and it's like, I never really like getting rid of historical things because it tells our story, good, bad, and the ugly. And to me, it's like if you just get rid of everything that was ugly, then you're missing part of why we are where we are today. But I do see too that um, I'm not oppressed with that. So I don't know. And then, all these things too, like, any of the Confederate uh, generals, they want to tear those statues down. And it's like, well, Robert E. Lee, for instance, yes, he fought for the South, but he identified more with the North. He just fought for the South because he thought it was the right thing to do based on where he lived. And so, it's like taking these things maybe sometimes out of context and, and again, to me, ripping out part of our history. Um, it almost to me is like saying the Holocaust never happened. Well, no, it did. You show the ugly of it so we don't do it again. But that's my perspective. And so one of the things I saw recently too, kind of on that same line, was like at Mizzou, there's evidently a statue of Thomas Jefferson sitting on this bench, and they want him to take it down. People are petitioning and signing to get this statue taken down. And I'm like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, okay, so yeah, I guess he was a slave owner, but he wrote the Declaration of Independence. He was integral with, our relations with France. He was the third president. And so it's like taking again out of context. And so it's like, does everything, that one thing negate everything else that he did? Or I don't know. I get, and so then that's when I come up with do not remove ancient landmarks. And so I kept reading a little farther and I actually stopped because I had to sit and pray. I'm like, God, I am not getting whatever it is you're trying to tell me. And so, because my mind was kind of going all over the place. And then the very next thing that I read after I prayed was Psalm 23:10, which again said, do not move an ancient landmark. And I was like, okay, so I guess that's where our minds connected as we were communicating with each other, God and I. And so don't know, I guess, I have God on my side, but yeah, destroying history, it has a place. And I guess you don't want to necessarily aggrandize it, glorify some of the things that people did, but you can't ignore the things that they did too. I just think we need a balance in our uh, country today. And oh my gosh, going through Proverbs is all about balance. And, slow down, do this, not all this, and oh, it's all about that. So, uh, I feel my mind is muddled today. And so I'm kind of glad that I have the scriptures there to give me some focus on what either is going on in our country or what should be going on in our country. Uh, and I think the sooner we get back to the scripture, the better off our country would be. We've always had strife, but oof, I've not seen things like this in my lifetime, especially. I'm just a baby, though, right? Eh. So that's where God found me today, kind of muddled. And thank goodness he's still talking to me anyway.